Hello everybody. So I have been very hesitant to make this video because, well, I thought the situation would get resolved in a good amount of time, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So here I am making the video. If you look over here, I'm clicking the chat button, and it's not doing anything. I can't chat. No, I did not set my chat settings to be chatless. The TTR mods muted me permanently. Jake, Joyroll, Clyde, all my accounts. And they said that any account that I make will automatically be muted without warning. And when I found out what the reason was, I was infuriated because the reason is small. The reason does not seem that bad, but I guess you could argue that it does deserve some punishment if it does cause a problem. Also because I have never received a chat infraction before, so me getting permanently muted and banned for a month, I got banned for a month. That was a long time. It was a couple months ago, so I'm not banned anymore. But since I haven't had a chat infraction before, giving me a month ban and a perma-mute does not seem like a legit ban. Does not seem like a legit punishment. You could argue that my termination that I got like 2 years ago that lasted for a year did have something to do. It was because of something that I said, but I resolved it with the Toontown Written mods. I said that, guys, this is all misunderstanding. Very nice email, all misunderstanding. Gotta listen to me and stuff like that. And they're like, okay, I understand. We'll unban your account and everything will be fine. And it was all good after that. I got unbanned after a year and it was all good. So I thought that if I were to get a mute, it wouldn't be permanent mute, especially for the things that I said. So, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what those things are. I have a picture of it right here. I have multiple pictures, so it's going to be a little difficult, but here's the picture. These are the things that I said. LO you fat, fatso, LO you fat again, fatso again, LO you fat again, fatso again, LO you fat again. See, more than half of these things are repeated. All of them say the word fat, and more than half of them are repeated in the list. LO you fat times 3, fatso times 3, LO you fat times 14, LO you fat times 2, LO you fat times 2. Fatso, 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 fatso times 3, fatty times 3. They couldn't just do the math and put them all together. Like, it's not that hard, guys. It seems like they almost made it this long to make it seem like stuff I did is worse than what it actually was. So because of this, it really just does not seem like a professional email at all. It should be made better than this. It can be very easily be made better than this. There's no need for you to repeat the same thing more than 5 times in the email. Like, that's not professional at all. If you guys are going to ban somebody, you have to give them exactly how many times they said something and stuff like that. And only just make the list like that. Don't make the list longer by saying the same exact thing. That's not going to help. So it makes it seem like they wanted to mute me, so they did this to make it seem like it's worse than it really is, and that makes me really upset. If you guys know me on Discord, which I'm sure a lot of you do, you will know that all of this stuff is stuff that I say all the time, and you would always laugh about it. Everyone who I say this to on Discord always laugh about it. On the TTR Discord, I would say it all the time, and the mods would laugh about it too. They know that I do it, so they don't ban me when I say it to my friends in the game. But then during the in-game Toonfest, I was saying it to one of my friends out loud, and I get banned for it. Because I was saying it out loud to somebody who knows me on Discord, so I said it to them. If it was one of my friends that I didn't know in Discord, I wouldn't say it to them, because they probably wouldn't know exactly what's going on. But since I know them on Discord, I say it to them in game, and they always laugh about it. And somebody and on the Discord even told me that, hey, dude, I feel a little bit offended by that. Can you not? I'm like, sure, I won't say it to you anymore. I said it to other people, and it was all good. It was all good. I never said it to them directly anymore. It wasn't a problem anymore. So the fact that they're banning it for me now, even though they've been okay with it for the past like 5 months, is insane. Guys, is it okay for me to be saying this stuff, or is it not? Do you find it funny, or do you not find it funny? Make up your mind already. So, then what they said at the end of that email was this. As a result, we temporarily suspended your TTR written account for 1 month. Additionally, we have permanently removed your ability to use SpeedChat Plus on any of your accounts. Any other current or future accounts you make may have their ability to use SpeedChat Plus removed without warning. If you are found violating the terms of service after your suspension ends, your account may be suspended for an even longer period of time, or potentially terminated. Please take time to review your terms of service to ensure this doesn't happen again. And then stuff like if you committed to keep down written up on place, stuff like that. So, yeah. As always, yes, if I mess up again, they'll ban me. It's longer, that makes sense, right? So, yeah. But this third sentence here is what really gets me. Any other current or future accounts you make may have their ability to use SpeedChat Plus removed without warning. So this reminds me of Smokin' Foreman's case, where, if you guys didn't know, he made a tweet on Twitter being like, Toontown Written, what is going on? My account, all of a sudden, I didn't do anything. All of a sudden, my Toontown Written account has been banned, terminated. And it said for banning eviction. It's like, I don't remember getting banned at all for the game. I haven't got any interaction. What's going on? For a long, long time, the TTR team sent him an email saying, sent him an email called, on behalf of the Toontown Rewritten mods. And they sent this long email saying, oh, we're very sorry. What happened was you were on a computer at your friend's house who was banned. So we thought he was using your account to evade bans. So we had to ban you. But you have given us enough information to unban your account. And then Smokin' Format made a video about that, being like, oh, what happened and how it got resolved and stuff. And someone in the comments was like, imagine you go to Toonfest and you on a banned account, on a banned IP, you go to Toonfest and you go onto an account that has a banned IP on it. Then everybody in the convention will also get banned. That's like an airborne virus. So if I'm still banned by the next Toonfest, then I'm pretty sure I'm going to go too. I could log on to one of their computers at the convention and get everybody else in the convention permanently muted because of something that they did to me. I could go to Toonfest and make the situation 100 times worse by logging on to one of their computers through my account. It's that easy. It is that easy to make everything go downhill from there. And I would just sit back laughing about it, being like, look what you guys did. You muted me, and I just made the situation 100 times worse by muting everyone else. And I will just be laughing. So, after I received that email, I sent them this email back. I even showed it to one of my friends, and they're like, dude, I think this is like is as best as it could possibly be. So I'm not gonna say the whole thing, but I told them, you can pause the video if you don't have time to read it, but I told them that, like, guys, this has to be misunderstanding, because I joke about it with my friends all the time, and they say things back to me like my tune is a rat, and Jake is a mouse, and I feel strongly that Jake is a mouse. The species name is even a mouse, so if the species name was a rat, then I would call him a rat, but it's a mouse, so I call him a mouse. And whenever they call, as a response to when I call my friends fat, normally they respond to calling me a rat, and you could technically say that calling someone a rat is more offensive than calling them fat. Calling someone a rat can have multiple definitions. It can mean a tattletale, it can mean they're very messy, or it can just be used as it literally can just be used as an insult, like, dude, you're such a rat, stop being such a rat, and stuff like that. Like a rodent, like you're literally calling someone a rodent, that's an insult. Or calling them fat, there's really only one definition of fat. It's literally the physical attribute, fat, thick, stuff like that, yeah. So I told them that they say stuff to me like that, I'm not offended by it, we always laugh about it, in Discord we talk about it all the time. I didn't tell them that the mods of the game were okay with it, because I felt like they could potentially use that against me, so I didn't tell them that. I just thought somehow they could use it against me, so, yeah, so I also had no idea that they were offended by it, and that if I was just told that they were offended by it, I would have stopped. There would have been no problem. I would have just stopped, and if we wouldn't have anything, you could give me a warning, I would have stopped, wouldn't have a problem. But no, instead of just telling me that people are offended by it, because I don't know, you just go ahead and suspend my ability to talk as a whole. Again, making me feel like I think you guys are just trying to target me instead of trying to teach me a lesson. And I didn't say that in an email because that just sounds rude, but you know, it just makes me think they're trying to get me muted instead of just trying to teach me a lesson. So after that, they sent me this email. Hey there, Jake. Sorry, we're unable to lift your infract. We have evidence that some of the whisper messages listed in our original email were sent to players that felt they were rude. And that was in October. So yes, when I got banned, it's already over. That was more than 2 months ago. So who was offended by this? Like, all of my friends that I say this to on Discord aren't offended by it. And if they are, they should have told me. Because at that point, it's really not 100% my fault if they are, because it's their responsibility to tell me that they're offended by it. Now, that could just be a very bad piece of advice. But remember, almost everybody that I say it to laugh about it and say it's a great joke, never gets old. It's basically your catchphrase at this point. They tell me that. They have told me that. And again, someone even told me that they felt offended by it on Discord. Like, I was in a voice chat, I called them fat. It's like, hey, can you not call me fat anymore? I just had problems with it in the past. Like, sure, I won't do it again. No problem. I never called them fat again. Wasn't a problem. So, and since I only direct me saying fat to people that I know on Discord, so to ensure that I don't get banned by somebody who found it offensive. So who could have found it offensive? Someone, if it was, because I do say it out loud, it could have been someone who was just standing on the other side of the area who heard me say it. Wasn't directed to them, but they still felt offended by it. Like, I guess it's possible. But just tell me that me doing this causes problems for people, even if it's not to people that I'm actually saying it to. That way, I know that saying it out loud may not be the best choice, and I can just say it in a whisper. They really don't need to go out of their way to mute me for this, because again, they've been okay with this for many months. That they're almost being hypocritical to mute me and ban me for this, and I think my team does. That's fine, whatever. I just don't understand what the problem with this is. Because of this, like, LOL you fat, let me show you again. LOL you fat. Fatty, fatso, all stuff like that. The you said is telling me that you said this stuff. Obviously. So, I don't understand why, even if I had chat infractions before, like, I can understand a little bit, but this just wasn't called for. Like, a warning would have been fine, but a perma-mute, that's just not called for. The termination that I got 2 years ago, that might have been a little bit called for, because what I said, I guess that makes a little bit of sense, but this is just less called for than the termination. If you guys have seen Coach Z's Evil Twin channel, he made a video a long time ago about these cats that were being extremely rude, saying all these sexual slurs and stuff that you never want to be saying on any game, unless it's like this, like, do whatever you want kind of game. They said more than 20 different things, and in my case here, it's less than 20 things, just the list is just really long because they didn't bother putting them together. But, if you're curious about you far, that's just putting a typo in the word fat, so it's basically the same thing. But basically, he said that they said more than 20 things that are very bad, and multiple parents and sisters of people who play and siblings of people who play this game were all like, hey, give me more information about it. What happened to these guys, and how are we able to get this to stop? And he made a follow-up video being like, okay, this telling us what their punishments were. And he's like, all they got were a warning and a week mute. If you're telling me that somebody who deliberately breaks the rules excessively in a way that everybody would be offended by, everybody would be upset by it, only gets a week mute, while somebody who jokes around like this, and almost everybody knows that it's a joke, and they laugh about it. Even the mods themselves know that it's just a fun joke. Why is my case the one that's being permanently muted, and they're the ones who are being muted for a week. Like mine, there is the situations aren't even comparable. They're so different that they aren't even comparable. Mine is nothing compared to theirs. Why am I getting again a perma-mute and a week ban while they're just getting a warning? Sorry, a month ban and a perma-mute, while those cats are just getting a warning and a week mute. Like it just doesn't add up. Even if they have 0 infractions, they should have been terminated at the moment they were starting to say that stuff. But no, they were not terminated at all. And I think the reason for this is because Coach C Evil Twin was the one who brought it up, and the TTR team doesn't like him. And now I am no longer able to talk at the game because the TTR mods want to be biased against me and find reason and try to make the reasons sound worse than they already are so they can get me off of the game. And I sent in a mod application. I sent in a mod application a few days after this happened. I thought it would get accepted, but now that this has happened, I don't think it's gonna get accepted anymore. I even told them that everything that has happened, all the misunderstandings, and that this specifically happened, and so I'm hoping that they can have sympathy for that and still accept me into the mod team. You could say like, dude, you've been banned multiple times. Of course I'm not going to accept you, but it's worth a try, right? It's worth a try, at least. And I even said that like stuff like this is one of the reasons why you need me. I didn't say it specifically like that, but basically what I said was stuff like this is a reason why you need me. I can fix this so it doesn't happen again. So please accept me so that I can help fix this. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I tried. But I'm just hoping that this gets resolved somehow. I'm just still like am upset about it because I'm still not used to using the speed chat. There's not much I can do with the speed chat, so instead I'm saying stuff like "you stink" and here. Let me get back in and show you guys what I mean. If I log back in, I say stuff like, you know, "you stink" or "stop that, please go away." And then whenever someone tunes me up, considering that they know me, if I don't know them, I'll just say no thanks and I won't say anything. But if someone that I know, and we're good friends and stuff like that, I will just go to the friendly, and every time they tune me up, I'll say no thank you instead of thanks on purpose, and they'll find it funny. So that's just basically, "you stink" and stuff like that is basically my backup LOL you fat for now, until it gets resolved. But I don't know if it ever will. Again, I could go to TuneFest and make the situation 100 times worse because I am permanently muted. But you know, it could get resolved before then, maybe it won't. The last thing I want to say about this is please in the comments don't say stuff like, "oh, the game is just, the mods in the game are just really bad, it's dying," and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to hear that anymore. I've heard it so many times that it literally has no meaning at this point. Like, yes, the game is dying. What else? I've heard this hundreds of times that I don't want to hear it anymore. I understand the game's dying, and I respect people who say it, just don't say it in the comments, because I've heard it too many times. Don't. Say anything else. Say something supportive, like, "oh yeah, you're right, they shouldn't have banned you." Or even if you want to say something like, "well, they had perfect reason to ban you, and this is why," then I will accept that comment as well. But don't say something like that. Don't say something that is basically a cliche at this point. That's like, "oh, the game is just so bad, the mod is so bad, I don't know why people play it anymore. It's horrible." Like, don't. It's too much. I've heard it so many times. I don't need to hear it again, especially for a reason like this. I understand the game is dying. I understand the mods are bad. I understand that like everything is basically going downhill with this game, but please don't say it anymore, okay? I'm getting tired of it. But any other comment I will respect. So yeah, thank you for listening to that one, for respecting that. And yeah, I'll see you guys later, I guess.